Here we are, and before I show you, let me show you something else. We were moving the Power PC behind here. As you can see, there was some fault finding and fixing going on. One of the, multiple meters starting bugging out, and I didn't film it because I guessed over right in the wrong moment when I wanted to show it, but I quickly figured the problem. This plug had one of the lines ripped off, probably when we moved the system. Fault finding was quick. It works now. Let me show you. Well, give you a sneak peek, right? Because we did add speakers, but then had some issues. So let's clean it up, and then I give you a final rundown on how the system looks like now. So here we are, and yes, it looks completely different with a set of speakers behind. I have found a very good setup using the symmetry, using this little space to get everything tucked to the wall as close as possible. And yeah, I still have quite some space to the sides to operate. The racks will be here. I have the output unit for the loudspeakers connected already, but we're going to test these next week. There will be a 19-inch rack on wheels that I should be able to move. Oh well, I don't know if it fits here. We're gonna see about that when it's there. Cables are in that configuration for now, and now we'll try to hide them a bit better in the future. There's still some cables missing here for the rack, but otherwise I'm super happy. We're able to fix everything. This system impresses everyone that is here. I was able to show some of these features. People are liking it the same as I am. I mean, I'm quite in love with this system. I think it's really powerful and very hands-on and easy to use. And yeah, can't wait to make this a proper system. Right now it's still kind of like more like a testing setup, right? Got the bare things connected, but I can't wait to get all the units in here connected, my analog output as well, and really start digging into this thing. But that's for now. Let me give you the overview for the final. Nice. It doesn't look too big, right? Yeah. So here we are back, all looking nice. And yes, I connected the laptop for a first test if we get sound. I have music that is copyright free because it's my own. And if I press play, you can see, first of all, yes, sound is reaching the console. Now if I turn up the speakers, there it is. Yeah, console is playing. The console is playing. Amazing. Amazing. That's it for now. I'm still waiting for the racks to be here. They should be delivered by cargo tomorrow because I'm buying used ones from Broadcast that should match this console design wise with the wood and everything, right? And then we're on to the cable madness. Also, I want to do speaker management and do it right from the start. You see here I have 4 speakers to select from here, A, B, and C as a near field, and then D as the surround system. And if I go to my monitoring unit, you can see it does have the signal monitoring, yes, for system A, which has 8 channels, but it should be a 5.1. So I don't know what is on channels 7 and 8. I will have to check that. And then also there is this B, which is for near fields. So this surround monitoring does have the facility for a 5.1 plus near fields. And now you can see, well, the weird thing is I right now I have signal on A and B, and I will test that now. But if I now go to the console and I select near field speaker A, the first half of the output A is muted, so no signal here anymore. Let's test that out. Alright, so I have now connected my output snake to the monitor B, where we only have 2 lamps in the front. And I checked all of these, and I can confirm, if I switch to A, I have signal on output 1 and 2 of this monitor B. If I switch to B, it would come out of these other 2. So that's sorted. I can now connect my other speakers. I do have some large speakers for kind of a PA/hi-fi system, and I have some small speakers that I have for some kind of lo-fi monitoring, like aura tones to simulate right now phones or laptops. In the early days it was like kitchen radios, and yeah, that's awesome. Nice. Yeah, they are too. Getting these down the stairs was not easy, let me tell you, but I'm happy that they're here. They look absolutely gorgeous. Look at that matching of the wood. Good stuff. Now, in order to make them fit, I mean, we have this little stick right here. We get this sorted a bit. We get the microphones somewhere else for now. We probably get this one out as well. Then move the console to there. And then see how these fit in here somehow. I want the large one to be here. Then I can maybe pull it out to work on it. It doesn't fit under the arc. Maybe we have this one here. Maybe we have them both here to the left. I measure a bit. We'll move the console and then see how it fits in there. And here we are. You've seen us rearrange the room quite a couple times. And the initial idea was to have this huge rack there. Well, it's much, much bigger in person than it was in my fantasy. And I figured, A, I couldn't move the console as far to the right as I wanted. B, I couldn't move it out and would be a little bit stuck behind this corner, and I just wouldn't like it. Also having this massive thing here where my listening position is, and I want to control my reflections. Yeah, it did not work, so we moved it around. It is now here, which at first feels like a bit in the room, but actually I kind of like it. I have these two. Sorry, it's a lot of stuff standing around. I have these two kind of angled to each other, which I think is kind of cool. Here, the door to the other studio. It now looks like this, which actually I don't mind too much. I mean, when recording and you want to have the view, we're going to see what we do about that. But otherwise, when I'm sitting here in the mixing position, right, and then the things are right there, I can kind of tweak them from here. I think that's good. Now, while we are not 100% sure yet, we will still start to make the cables for this rack, right? And take it from there. Here we are making the cables, and the console came with quite a few cables, but the owners before, they did not use all the interfaces, and also they didn't use the same patchway as we did. Luckily, there are some jacks here that we will use. There's some on XLR that we will use. We will not use their XLR female because that's going through a patch bay and is hardwired to a, or normalized to a floor box. But we are making progress on soldering these. I made quite a few here. There's one with the 37 pin that goes to the units, and no, sadly, this is not like DB25, where the device has only female and all the plugs are male. So I did not order enough plugs because I now have only male. I have to continue on Friday with the female ones. I have a sheet where I was going through the racks and where I'm noting which looms I have and which I don't have. And yeah, I made 6 already. There's 8 more to go. But we're coming along nicely. And then also, if that is done, we can populate these racks and get going. Basically, exciting. And here we are. The new interface. Yes, this is an RME MADI FX. It right now gives me 2 optical MADI streams. Perfect to connect to the switch, where I have exactly 3 DAW inputs already configured. Now the third MADI stream is here on coaxial, but there is a card that I can buy that has this one as an optical as well, so I can have all 3 opticals of the Lavo used, and the numbers are just insane. With a 64 channel configuration, it shows me 192 inputs, and the same with the outputs, right? I mean, if I now switch this, oh, it is 56, 56, 56 already as the output format. MADI no lock. Clock source. I mean, this is insane. Mirror MADI, redundancy mode. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, there it is. It works in a nice little housing. USB-C, future-proof. It is charging my laptop. All I could ask for, really. And here we are. We cleaned up a bit. And it was looking much worse today. But we're still kind of in progress. Still cables lying around. Still the racks empty. Still the console not in place, and there's a lot of more things we will have to solder. We would have to figure a way to set up these racks. I'm still not sure where to put them. There's limitations. I'm trying to figure out where to put the interfaces. And I have to make sure that they're properly cooled, because you shouldn't be stacking them like this because they heat up too much, and so on and so on. So challenges ahead. Today was not an easy day. Getting these downstairs was not super easy. And then also there is this one absorber that we had on the back wall. We're not using it anymore, and the backside fell off quite a few times during this build, and also today when I just thought to be making something else. we found ourselves scraping the rock wall together, fitting it. Now it's clamped down properly, so it shouldn't happen again. But still a challenging day, and still work in progress. But I'm looking forward to our next session here, where we're hopefully going to figure everything right. Here we are, the workshop. I thought there wouldn't be too much movement, so I didn't film the soldering of the cables, but we did it. all the snakes for the interface units. We soldered 14 snakes for 114 inputs. Lots of cables. Yeah, what else we did? We were a bit desperate with the fitting of the racks. But look at it now. Looks like we made it. Looks like we actually found a solution where everything fits in. Now the lighting of the room does not match yet. You see there's shadowy spots on the console. I don't want to get lighting from the top anyways, right? But otherwise, this one fits there now. It's all like fitting exactly in there. Snug fit here, snug fit there, of course, with the absorber. But yeah, the window isn't obstructed too much. It takes away a little bit, right? But the low height is not as important as the upper part. So I think we're fine with that. And now, of course, I would have liked the racks next to each other to be able to patch between the patch bays. This will be the recording rack and this will be the mixing rack. But that was not possible here. I did not like any of the solutions with the other rack being here. So what I will do is have tie lines between them. So I will have one patch bay, probably with 24 ways between these two, where I can then say, okay, if I'm recording here and I'm on an analog preamp and I say I want to use an EQ or compressor over there, I can patch it into the interconnection, basically in the one. I take it here from the one, patch it in the equalizer, and then from here I can convert it to digital if I like to. And this system also allows me to copy the signal there. So I could record a dry without the compressor and then the basically wet signal with the compressor. So that is amazing. Next step will be fitting everything, cabling everything. I'm super hyped about that. And this is what it looks like. With the lighting now, doesn't look too spacious. And I mean, this rack over there is just huge. Huge. But it fits, it's in there. And then also, you see the back half of the room has a lot of space now with it, which I think it's amazing. It looks great, no? Here we are, and we spent a lot of time filling the racks. I don't know what the camera captured because the battery died. It's working, but here we are. And as you can see, we stacked interfaces, a ton of them, and we need a ton of them because we have all the analog inserts here. And this is for 84 channels in, 84 channels out. We have 5x8, 56 preamps for recording. Here we have one master converter for talkback and the return of the analog summing. We have 4 interfaces, the outputs for analog summing. In the back we have the monitoring unit, and there will be another unit at the back which is for phones. So it's all pretty stacked, but I have a big problem. These interfaces were never meant to be stacked like this, because they need better airflow. Now if I would have rails here that would allow for individual spacing, I could have just left some space in between. Here I have the choice to either leave a whole unit blank, right, or none at all. And right now all these interfaces are just stacked, and obviously this will get too warm. Now I have 2 options to go from here. One would be to space these out and have maybe 3 units, then a blank, 3 units, another blank, right, to have at least some ventilation where normally or right now the heat travels from one unit to the other to another one and then escape. The other idea that I had would be to make, and Flocko wants to play. Flocky! The other option would be to install active ventilation in the back to pull out the warm air. And if I was to do that, it should actually be better to not leave blank so that the cold air is really sucked through these units and then ported out. And that is probably what I will be going for here, because even if I leave the blanks here, 3 unit on top just passively is already, I think, too warm. I had it in my workshop. It's set up with 3 and they were getting toasty. I mean, mostly in the power supply section, but still pretty warm. Now, there is one thing that I will do here, which is taking out 2 units because I calculated my inserts, and 48 is too much. Even with headroom, I think I should limit myself to 40. That's plenty of inserts, and probably more than I will ever need. And then with the analog summing or recording, I mean, I could also take out some of these units here to limit myself to, let's say, 48 channels of recording interfaces, or reduce the amount for summing from 32 to maybe 24. Yeah, I still figure on how to stack these and probably ventilate these, because while that looks really cool, this will definitely get too hot and damage the units. So, yeah, that's a solution in need to be found. But otherwise, I'm very happy we'll finally get stuff into the racks and clear the floors. But the thing that makes me the most happy is that we find a configuration for these racks where they are, one to the left, one to the right. Amazing! Let's continue. And here they are in their current form. Wow. I took out 1 interface per side. We filled the racks, a lot of back and forth. I did not go the way to kind of plan it on a drawing board or something. That's the thing with try and error. It incorporates error as well, but we got through it kind of nice. Now, I absolutely love the way they look, the way they are filled. There's still a few spaces here and there. There's still some stuff to figure out. Like basically I have my recording as well as the analog summing on this side, and that's why I have the FX here as well. Then also I have this equalizer that I want to use on the drum bus, but then again I have this equalizer that I want to use on the vocal bus, and I will have to figure how to incorporate them. Unfortunately, this 19-inch rack has been put together kind of wrong, and I probably have to correct it in order for it to fit, or I put it somewhere where it doesn't matter. And I could do that here because this is a little bit shorter there, but that would mean I would have to move all of the devices, which I don't like doing. So far with the challenges, also the patch base on top. You know, I like the setup them being here, that you use them while standing up, and when sitting you can reach everything else. But when I have cables in here, they kind of overlap with these devices over there. That's also stuff to consider. Apart from that, I'm very happy for these to be in. Thank you so much, Florian, for your hard work today. When we go here into the back of these, that's the view. That's how it looked like. Nothing cabled yet. That's what we are going to do next week. And then also, because you see there's a lot of devices in here, of course. And I still have 19-inch spaces here. So I will find a way to put fans in here to suck out the air, especially from the interfaces down there. And yeah, then see how the rest of this rack develops in heat. I could put fans area to kind of have the air circulating. That is for next week. And then with this other rack, probably even more, that I will have heat here from all of these interfaces that I would have to suck out somehow. And I do have 19-inch here that I could use, but not much more. Maybe I add my own 19-inch in here. I still have rails for that, so that I could put fans in here. Let's see. But so far, I am happy. Today we found a setup where to put everything. We did put the devices in. Also, thank you while we're here to Konsti aka Magic Manfred, who was here all day helping to put this together. And then, yeah, next week it's cable time. Woohoo!